Hey everybody, Ashley Page here. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's educational vlog. Our topic, very timely, Americans are currently leaving the United States in record numbers. Why this matters for money in your markets. First of all, this is way beyond the political reasons that you might think are causing it. This trend's been accelerating for a number of years now. The United States experienced its first net negative migration of its citizens in 90 years, going all the way back to the height of the Great Depression in 1935. The Wall Street Journal and the Brookings Institute believe there are anywhere between 4 and 9 million Americans that have chosen to live permanently overseas now. These numbers are derived from broad data, including residence permits, foreign home purchases, student enrollment, that type of thing. Over 180,000 relocated out of the country in 2025 alone, where it used to be a narrow band of highly educated executives and their families, mainly from New York and California. It is now much more broadly based in the type of jobs that Americans hold and what states they're coming from. They're really immigrating out from everywhere now. Why is this happening? It's a mix of both economic factors and lifestyle choices. So let's look at the economic first. Number one, rapidly rising cost structure in housing and healthcare. A very good friend of mine that I went to church with for years and was director of academics at a private school here now lives in the nation of Panama. Americanized healthcare, good quality of life, and he's doing that primarily because the cost structure in housing and healthcare are lower. Number two, the rapid growth of digital and remote work. Many Americans living overseas permanently are now able to keep their US-based jobs and salaries while living in countries with lower overall cost of living. Nations such as Portugal and Ireland are very popular destinations for this right now. Number three, many believe that the world's economic center has shifted over time and they need to move with it to enhance success. In the 1600s, 1700s, and 1800s, for example, it was London. And then in the 1900s and early 2000s, it was New York, so you had that shift. Many people feel recently that Singapore is the next epicenter of this. A good example of that is the financier Jim Rogers. We hosted Jim several years ago at a program that we had here in Birmingham, and Greg and I were talking to him about this. He was saying that, and Jim Rogers is wealthy enough, smart enough to live anywhere, but he said he and his wife and daughters were now living in Singapore because his feeling was that was going to be the next epicenter, and he wanted his children to experience that. Nations such as Thailand and Indonesia are now very popular with Americans relocating. Now, let's look at the lifestyle portion of this. Number one, many Americans now believe that living permanently overseas provides a better balance between work and family life. Number two, many Americans feel safer and less stressed abroad now. It's sad to me. School safety, for example, for Americans' younger children is often referenced here in surveys. Number three, speaking of schools, unlike at the college or university level, many Americans report that they have received a higher quality education for their children at the primary school level in other countries. You know, I remember years ago being on a World Scout Jamboree trip, and as part of that, we visited a school in Denmark. It reminded me, and meaning school, meaning high school, I remember a lot of this was math class, and I remember a lot of the instruction was high-level calculus. that I personally didn't see until probably second or third year of college. Number four, many Americans desire the stronger social safety net that other countries provide. Well, why does this matter? Most importantly, economies that flatline or start to shrink in their labor force can really struggle. Japan is an excellent example of that. From an economy markets perspective, this is not a sustained road that the US economy needs to travel. 1 year of net negative migration is one thing. A growing year over year trend in this direction is quite another. Our chief investment officer here, Trey Booth, is extremely well versed here in what happens to an economy if such a trend becomes long term. I suggest you talk to him about it. Very interesting what Trey knows about this. Secondly, these are not the creative, hardworking, high value add people that an economy needs to be losing. A good example of that is a young man that was a friend of my daughter's growing up, grew up right around the corner from us in Homewood, went to our same church. He's a highly talented architect. Rather than staying in the United States, he's now got a tremendously successful design studio in Budapest. Well, that type of high earner that's also highly creative is a type of person a US economy does not need to lose. So this is an interesting trend that we're keeping an eye on that sort of undergirds a lot of the more immediate portfolio trends. So, as always, if you would like to ask us about further information on this topic or any other, please feel free to call me or any of the guys on the portfolio team. Or, as always, feel free to reach out on the social media platforms we have listed. Whatever mode you choose, we're always happy to hear from you, always enjoy the dialogue with you. Until then, we hope you have a great week. Thanks.